The Secret Galaxy unannounced live stream featuring Mike Kaess,
Some would say one of the best cartoon crotches of all time.
Kate and Chad,
I don't want to touch the cat pee towels.
and your host, Dan Larson.
Let's open him up and see what he's got.
Starts now.
Hello, welcome everybody to the live stream here on Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Looking at the comments in chat, you guys already got me laughing. That's good stuff. Already drawing some lines. Got some people taking their picking their teams, whether they like announced or unannounced, which is actually kind of funny. I'm just gonna get everybody in here real quick. We've got, as you just heard in the intro, we have a good friend, Mike Kaess. Hello, Mike.
Jazz hands.
Hey, and we've got Kate and Chat in chat. Hello, Kate and Chat.
Hello.
You know what's funny about
I'm
that?
also
intro?
doing jazz hands. Just solidarity.
They need to have an audio component of some kind, some sort of like flapping noise or something.
Just
Yeah.
that's hard to do.
It's I don't think I have anything here in sound effects that applies to jazz hands. I don't know if this works.
Like you know, you don't have like a bojangle.
I don't.
Like
There's
tambourine?
nothing in there. There you go.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
But the thing about that intro is, I made that intro. That's not a producer Greg intro. I made that. I'm pretty happy with it. And the
Did a
music
good
and stuff
job.
and whatever. But like 99% of it is from Adobe stock, and I realized that that is expensive to have a subscription to Adobe stock, like way more than I wanted to pay per month. And so I think I had signed up when it was like, oh, here's your free trial, put your credit card number in and then we'll hit you. And I just never canceled the free trial. And so when I actually got that first bill, I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that intro going forward.
You can. No, you still can. No, you're
okay,
good. Yeah. No, they don't like
'Cause it's
retroactively take it away. Yeah.
Yeah, because you get all these warnings. That's like, if you cancel, you lose all of these licenses, you lose all of your stuff. And I was like, okay, but I don't want to pay for it anymore. So I guess I'll just have to write my own music and do my own thing from here on out, I guess. I don't know. So thank you.
You could probably get our guest to write you some music. I'm just saying.
Oh,
It's possible. That's possible. You could do a labor trade there, some kind of thing going on there. But already a lot of people in chat here. Glad to see everybody. Lots of names I recognize, some names I don't. Thank you for coming back to the people who've been here before, and thank you to the people who are joining us for the first time. Let's go ahead and get our guest in. He's been on our shows before, not on this particular version of the live stream, but old friend of mine, and maybe you know, maybe you don't. If you don't know him, you'll know him soon. It is Jesse Destasio.
Hey, greetings
Toy
from
Pizza.
Panama. Greetings from Panama. There's not great Wi-Fi here, so I had to go to the discotheque downstairs, and I'm in the back room. It's relatively quiet now. As you know, Panama, very European style culture, so they eat dinner very late.
Yeah.
So the music's not going to start for quite some time. So we're okay for now.
That's Panama.
Yeah.
Panama, Connecticut, right?
Panama, Connecticut.
Yeah,
correct.
Panama's national anthem is really good. It's like Panama, like it's really good. I like it.
Yeah, I have a lot of business interests.
Yeah, that you're trying to skate around legalities.
Sure,
that's the best way to keep your costs down.
No comment.
Well, we don't really have a structure to this show. We would have if I had actually written up a show outline or anything like that, like I usually do. I didn't bother with one today, so who cares?
Not needed.
Jesse is here today to talk about a few things. There's two big announcements we want to make. One's already been announced. I don't know why I'm acting like it's all secret or anything. But we do want to promote Jesse's show that's coming up here. It's not just Jesse's show; it's everybody's show.
It's our show.
That's
It's
right.
our show. It's everyone's show.
You talk about it while I figure out while I remember how to share images here.
Okay. Guys, what do we hate? We hate conventions, right? They're not fun. The hot dogs are moldy. The fluorescent lights are bad for our skin. The carpets are not very cush at all. What I've done, I've taken everything we hate about a convention and I've distilled all of the good stuff down into what I like to call Toy Pizza Expo. And it is happening in less than a month. And it is in Beacon, New York at the Yard. And it's going to be incredible. Let me tell you. It's going to be absolutely incredible. It's just the Yard.
Oh,
the Yard.
It's not
capital
our Yard.
T, capital Y.
Gotcha.
It's the Yard.
And what are, it's just off the starting at the top. What are some of the best things that are going to be at this show that people love about conventions? I can think of one right off the top of my head. Me.
Toy Galaxy.
Wow.
Well, look, I'm well beyond 2 decades into the toy industry, which is insane to think about. And so thusly, I have been to hundreds and hundreds of conventions and shows, local, large, international, doesn't matter. And they all kind of suck. They all have lost their magic for me. And so this is trying to build a little bit of magic back into the collector hobby. And it's got to focus on community rather than just queuing up in a line and waiting to buy an exclusive and then exiting the building. I want to keep everybody trapped in the same space for long hours.
Real quick, I just want to recognize Wraith Mace here with the gifted 1 Secret Galaxy membership. Thank you very much, Wraith Mace. And you're welcome to whoever got it. Appreciate that. Yeah, so conventions run the gamut at this point, right? And most of, like you just said, do sort of sit around at this end of like sort of the same guests every year, and 2-day events that should be 1-day event, 3-day events that should be 2-day events. You gotta nothing against Funko Pops. I have a bunch of Funko Pops myself, but there tends to be a very large assortment of Funko Pops at a lot of conventions now, especially conventions that are sort of billing themselves as toy or comic cons. It's like, okay, they're there, but do we need this many of them all at the same time? But what you're attempting to do, and not attempting, it's actually happening. What you're doing with this show is really growing from what you've done with Toy Pizza Con for 3 years already, and then going forward, more guests that are non-traditional isn't the right word, but it's more putting the focus on creators and the types of things that you may not normally see at a convention for toys and comics, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Giving a spotlight to things that are overlooked, right? Like, look, we could have NECA set up, we could have Mezco set up, but it's not about that. It's about, the Farm League, really, and fostering artists who maybe have never had a breakout or never been in front of a crowd, never had a community to speak of.
Mixed with a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome, which worked for Beauty and the Beast. So I think it's a brilliant idea.
Wait, there's going to be a library?
No, just the Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, forget it.
How much pizza is going to be there, though? Just asking for a friend.
Boy, let me tell you guys, if you thought wrangling vendors for a show is difficult, I would really recommend you try wrangling food vendors, because holy cow, is that another full-time job I was not anticipating.
I was just gonna say, the first year we went, there was so much pizza.
So this is a shot from this is from 2019. When was the first one?
18.
18. Okay. So this is a shot from 2018.
A lot of pizza.
This was Max Pizza. This was all the pizza that was there, as far as I know. But it ended up, somehow a miracle occurred. I think because probably we were in a church, weren't we?
We were in a church.
Was Jesus giving it out?
It's enough pizza for everybody.
We are no longer allowed to go to churches with this show. So, glean from that what you will.
I don't know what that means.
Let's just say I got a very strongly worded scroll from the Pope.
Oh my God.
And it was not a chill situation at all.
You can't be excommunicated, right? If you're not like a member, like you pre-excommunicated.
Apparently, I can't step foot in Vatican City, so I don't know.
Ooh.
It sounds like you didn't make the proper pizza payments to make sure that everything was was squared away and taken care of.
It could be. No, well, okay. So first year, I just bought a ton of pizza. Actually, I think Matt Dowdy from O'Neill bought the pizza, and so we just handed free pizza to everybody. For this year, we have a bit of a full day plan, so I want to get somebody making fresh pizza the entire day.
Oh my god!
So you can have it for breakfast, lunch, and then a sensible afternoon snack before the closing ceremony happens.
So I've got some photos here. This is for I want to sort of take the crowd here. I want to take the audience here through the evolution of this show of Toy Pizza Con and how it
That's
occurred.
definitely a church.
It was.
It was
A very nice building outside. I don't think I have any pictures of the outside in this folder, but it was a very nice building. And you took care of us. You took care of Toy Galaxy at the time, and we were right next to the air conditioners. Everybody else was dying.
right.
And we were freezing up there. It's great. That was a bunch of stuff I had for sale. In fact, some of that stuff, and this is no slight on your show, Jesse, but some of that stuff I still have because it didn't sell, and I still haven't sold it since.
I feel like that's more on you and the stuff than the show.
It is. I need to start giving things away for free earlier in the show. So
we've never been able to regulate the temperature properly at a Toy Pizza.
This is true.
I'm hoping we break the strike this year, but it's who knows. It's going to be June. We're going to have tents at least, and the indoor area is quite well air conditioned. So it'll be interesting to see.
There's the pizza that was Nikki. There's more of my stuff. So this is the grand ballroom of the show from the first year, and this is just sort of taking a look around. There's a lot of if you're familiar with the Glyos community, if you're familiar with Glyos toys and this sort of artistic community of toys, I'm not sure how to phrase it, but there's a lot of stars in this room, and I didn't even know it at the time because I wasn't. You had definitely given me some figures up to this point. I had bought some figures from you. But I didn't really know what Glyos was at the time, and I didn't know who all of these creators were at the time. And so there's a
lot of stars, and there's a lot of shorts with cargo pockets.
Yes.
Those are the two things that room has.
Same thing as far as I'm concerned, honestly.
Yes, and as Robert Snyder points out, there's a dog. So
dog.
Most important thing from the show is there was a dog there. Do you know who the dog is, Jesse?
I don't, but it was put down after the show.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's not true.
Very sad.
What a bummer. That was
a way to bring the room down.
Yeah, it bit a couple kids on the way out. We couldn't have that.
Should have given it some pizza.
Maybe.
This is me with who knows who the masked person is underneath the Lime Knights costume there.
Could have been any one of us.
How who made this costume?
This was made by 1,000 Toys in promotion of our crossover figures.
Really?
They had one of the people that made like Kamen Rider TV show costumes make it for them to have actors walk around Wonderfest dressed as our characters.
Canonically, that makes it a actual tokusatsu costume, I think.
I believe so.
It is tokusatzu either way. It just technically is a Toei costume.
It's canon. It's canon is what it is. What I'm saying.
Do you have to give it back?
No, I have all three of them. I do not fit into them anymore, but they do exist.
It doesn't hide a lot. Yeah, it doesn't hide a lot.
No,
it's not. It doesn't keep
breathe.
It does come with one free rider kick though, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And then this is actually third Toy Pizza Con. So the first year it was at the church. Second year it moved over to Beacon.
No, we had 2 years in between.
Oh, online. That's right.
We were online.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. I don't have any pictures from that event.
Of the pandemic? We don't need to show pandemic photos. It's okay.
I have plenty of pictures from that. I don't have any pictures from the actual online show. But then, in 2022, it moved to, what's the name of this place? I forgot.
Happy Valley.
Happy Valley.
Thank
you.
One of my favorite places. I was just there last night. I love that place so much.
It is it officially a barcade?
No, there's a specific entity that owns barcades, friends of the family. This is separate from that, but equally lovely. No, it's very true.
That's not true.
It's very true.
Similar but legally distinct.
We'll have an offline conversation.
Okay. It's a bar game room, I guess, is what you'd call it.
Bar arcade.
Bar arcade. Yeah. This is David White, Mechazone, signing or actually, I'm sorry, here he's sketching a card. Look at this. From your proprietary game.
That's right.
Card Slicers. Yeah, I was buying myself time to try to remember the name. I had Jagged Edge stuck in my head, and I'm like, I know that's a thing, but that's not the actual name of the card game.
There's too many names in my world. I don't blame you.
Question for Jesse from Yokai Customs. Are you still accepting exhibitors? He's a customizer and interested in showing his work to people in person.
Oh, excellent. Well, I would say we're in the finalization process for people that already signed up a month ago. So if there are slots that open up, we can add more. I don't yet know if there's any slots that are opened up. However, I would say just bring a portfolio, bring a couple pieces. Come, it's going to be a great big open yard, and you'll absolutely be able to show off your stuff and get people to look at your work.
Yeah, come hang out with me at my table.
Yeah, that sounds fair. But I want the money for it though.
Yeah. He's done. I keep grabbing my microphone and turn off my mic. He's done customs for me. If you've seen my Boba Fett number 499, that was Yokai Customs. In fact, he's working on a custom for me right now that I'm not gonna spoil or anything. We'll post that when it's done. No rush. But yeah, definitely come hang out if nothing else. Bring like a cool bulletproof briefcase or something with some of your stuff and just hang out at my table.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would love to see this stuff.
You getting any cosplayers? You got any official cosplayers signed up?
It's so damn hot that
it is outdoors in July.
We had stuff planned for the last two shows, and I just put the kibosh on it the morning of. I was like, people are going to die. Now that we're in June, we're slightly earlier. That might be slightly better, but I still don't want to risk it.
Yeah, you don't want that on your conscience.
Yeah.
You can, if you know the names of everybody in these pictures and you want to shout them out, feel free, because I don't know everybody's names.
Okay. That's a bunch of people.
Well, that's Carolina Cool Cat, Grant Saunders right there.
There's some white guys.
Yep. They're definitely people. Yeah, we were over quota on that, I think.
There's Bobby Torres. Is that Bobby? No, that's not Bobby. Right. Yeah, that's Bobby Torres of This Toy Life, I think. Or every guy kind of looks the same in this crowd.
Yeah, we got to set the limit on beards too. There's too many beards.
Yeah. At Genius Station, Gavin Mackey. Yeah, there's Matt Dowdy. I think that's Dick Jones in the back there. Yeah. The whole
Plunderlings. Yep, Plunderlings were there.
Our buddies at Plunderlings.
Great stuff.
I believe that's former head of the EPA under the Trump administration, Scott Pruitt.
Is it?
No, that's not. That's somebody else.
So close.
No.
There's me taking a selfie with Mechazone while he's drawing. He knew. I asked his permission. That wasn't.
Okay. It's good. Consent's important. We've been over this.
All kinds of fun stuff. All kinds of cool original figures. In many cases, one of ones. People who are just turning out. And so in some cases, so for instance, Jesse, your toy line, Toy Pizza, Knights of the Slice, your figures go through a manufacturer. They are produced at a factory in China.
It's true. Very true.
Creators like Grant here, his stuff is far more limited because he's casting it himself. And there's a lot of artists. There's a lot of people who are working that way, where making their own sculpts, casting their own figures. Did you start out that way at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, I found a photo I'm gonna have to post online of the first convention I set up as a maker, and this was probably 15 years ago, maybe even more than that. And it was a tiny show in New York City, I want to say it was called like Toy Street or something like that. And I same spread: resin toys, self-printed comic book, ash cans, prints. Didn't sell a single thing. Could not get arrested with any of it. So, in my community, almost everybody is a creative type, if not actively making their own action figure projects and things like that. So I think it's important to go through a couple of years of that. That's like the foundation of selling or anything. You can't just cut the line because you're a big, big Mr. Oh, look at that handsome guy. Wow, that is Italian excellence right there. Look at that. You can't just skip the line because you have a big YouTube program or stuff like that. You gotta,
No, you got to start off when you have a smaller YouTube program, and then you work your way up, and then you grow together, right? But I think that for some people, that as far as aspiration is concerned, that's where they want to be. Some people use that as the sort of first step towards producing action figures at a larger scale. You want to know the craft from that level. You want to be able to go through each step: conception, sketch, sculpt, casting, this sort of thing. You want to know that whole process, and you want to have control over that whole process. And for some people, that's where it stops. That's the art that they want to pursue. Other people use that as a way to say, okay, now how do you do that at a larger scale? Now that I understand the process, well, what does that look like when you make 150 figures, 1,000 figures, 10,000 figures, and that sort of thing? This guy was there. I don't know how he got in. Somebody must have let their security must not have been paying attention.
Oh boy, yeah. We won't make that mistake again. I see a Mr. Jones in the chat. Is that the artist, Mr. Jones?
That is Mr. Jones. Yeah,
he's great. Yeah, he did some Night of the Slice artwork. He's fantastic. One of the best.
Yes, nice to see him finally getting some actual recognition out there in the industry. He's had a couple of two, I think, actual Ninja Turtles covers at this point.
Yeah, dang. It's really great to see.
Yeah, very good.
And is that the Toy Collector magazine?
Like, right? Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we were doxing people or not, but yes, hi, Blake.
No, he knows. Yeah.
No, go to his house. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put his address in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
So this is the scale. This isn't fair. This is the outdoor scale of 2023's Toy Pizza Con.
Yeah.
The building in the background there is actually that's where the arcade bar, I think is what they're called, that's where that was located. And so they had the best things you could possibly want at any convention there: air conditioning, a bathroom, chairs,
cold beer,
that stuff. All the food was inside. A little bit of a tight fit in there once the show actually got rolling.
Better than church, though. Sounds like.
It was an upgrade for sure.
It's a church for some people still.
True.
There you go.
It's a holy experience either way.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're back at the beginning now. All right. So this year, like you said, it's in June, and it's actually in what, like 4 weeks today?
I think a little less than that. The 16th. I'm not good at math, but
yeah, one of us should know the date.
Let's say a little over 3 weeks. That sounds safe.
I have the other poster here.
Okay. I'm also I'm like simultaneously switching from the stream to our window. So
I believe it's 3 weeks from tomorrow, folks.
3 weeks
we
from
go.
Tomorrow. June 16th,
Somebody knows math.
Sunday, 2024.
So bring Kate along.
Yeah. Who did the art here, Jesse?
This was Rhino Arts. Ryan Genovese. Very, very good artist. He's contributed quite a bit to the Glyos community at large. And I just realized you have a comments tab on StreamYard, so I don't need to keep switching windows here. Sorry about that. Okay, you got my full attention.
That's all right. It took me a second to figure out what actually was happening in this illustration. For a moment, I thought the Toy Pizza ring was sucking the essence out of the figure.
Yes, but now this was a rite of passage for me. I went through a tumultuous, 13, 14-year-old phase where any toys I had I met their fate through either the magnifying glass or like WD-40 and a pack of matches. Like,
yeah, I think everybody went through that phase. Yeah. And did you learn anything though from it? Like the ways that different plastics melted?
I mean, fire is beautiful, and I would love to see more of it engulfing so many things. I think about it all the time. The way it just dances in front of you, it's like a voice from beyond, and it calls to me. It speaks to me, and I would love to express this love I have in my heart in some way, shape, or form. Maybe
Yeah, fire department. Yeah,
on June
I found the
16th.
arsonist. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Fire is beautiful. I think we can all
Hey,
agree.
look,
It's
yeah,
it's erotic. It's erotic. Okay, there I said it.
Settle down. All right, settle
Well,
down.
fire licks stuff, so I can't.
It's going in a weird
Flame
place.
kissed.
Yeah.
Uh,
And if
I-
there's any kids out there watching, get yourself a pack of matches. Go have fun.
Oh my god.
right, cut his mic. Cut his mic. There's no kids watching. Don't worry about
That's
that.
how we get cut off.
Yeah. So this is, Blake here. I strapped my original AT-AT driver. That's AT-AT. AT-AT. I strapped my original AT-AT driver to about 20 bottle rockets, twisted the fuses together, and lit it up. Yes.
We all
Please.
did that.
Please share whatever crazy stories
actually-
you have.
That's what George Lucas did too. I think
That's
honestly.
true. That's true. You just needed the right camera for that.
Yeah,
and
guys,
in there.
sound off in the chat. Any crimes you've committed? We have some federal agents standing by. So just let us know any crimes you've committed, any crimes you're looking to commit
Well, so
anytime soon.
Look, I think it was pretty common to go through that phase of seeing how much pain you could induce on your action figures. I absolutely look. Summers were different. You had too much time, no supervision, and you were trying to hurt yourself most of the time. Not like a bad way. You're just like trying to see how far you could go with things. And so you've got your magnifying glass, and you just start lighting things on fire. Newspaper, branches, nothing living, of course, and then action figures. And I vividly remember having a Secret Wars Kang, and just the hole right through his torso. The way that melted, it was fantastic. And
Yeah. Erotic, yes.
but I didn't say that. That's you. Nobody quote me on that. That's him. That's me. I definitely a lot of my straight arm Joes died at the heavy end of the hammer for some reason. I went through a phase where I was straight up just smashing them. I just like the way their torsos cracked open.
Yeah.
And then when you take your bike, you turn your bike over, and then you get that crank going, and you're just mesmerized by the teeth as they catch the links of the chain on the bike, and then you put a guy's leg in there. That was me.
Yeah. See, this is why there used to be mandatory military service. In Europe, you would just go down to Zanzibar and kill people to like work
Get out of
way
your
through
system.
this.
Just work it out.
If you were Dutch, they'd send you down to one of the colonies, and
But that that was part of it, right? And I think for some people, we used to pack Altoids tins with gunpowder and launch a metal bucket.
We're gonna want to flag that guy. Okay, let's keep a very, very close eye on that guy.
You have a YouTube channel? What's on it?
Check out any interesting books from the library lately.
Yeah. That's great.
The worst I would do is I'd try to get my brother to drink potions I made in the sink from toothpaste and shampoo.
That's different, Mike. We're talking about action figures and what you did.
I don't know. I never destroyed my toys.
I was just thinking, y'all must have been rich, because I had to take good care of my toys, and my mom would bring them to. She was a nursery school teacher. She would bring my things to her school for her kids to play with, and they would come back broken, and I would be so upset because I didn't get replacements. I wasn't going to get another He-Man because I cut his hands off with the kite string or anything like that.
Hey, don't bring up my trauma.
I do remember getting a Michael Knight figure stuck in a tree on our playground and having to throw other toys up to try to get him down, but they would get stuck too. So I'm just throwing toys up in the tree.
It was the Nerf boomerang. And the Nerf boomerang used to get stuck in the tree, but
I definitely I see this comment here. I definitely did the G.I. Joe BB gun firing squad for sure. Like that was and bow and arrows too.
Really? That's tough target.
They were traitors.
But I'm not questioning the legality and the validity of their crimes. I'm just saying that's a tough target with a bow and arrow.
If you let insubordination fester.
Was this like point blank range? Was this execution style? What are you doing?
Well, no, there would be some distance at first, but then after you miss a couple shots, you just go, you go point blank.
Gotcha. So two things we wanted to talk about tonight were Toy Pizza Expo. We've graduated to Expo status now. This is not a con. This is an Expo now. Is it short for exposition or something else?
It's expose.
I don't know. I just like those 4 letters together. I didn't realize it could be short.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if explosion maybe was in there somehow, but Toy Pizza Explosion. The other thing we wanted, my cousins left a bunch of Motu figures on the electric baseboard heater, so I had a few melted blobs. Kind of wish I had kept my tossed them. So many good soldiers lost to long, boring summers. But the other thing we did, the other thing I wanted to talk about tonight is for those that don't know, we Secret Galaxy did start a line of action figures because I looked around and realized that I had made these friendships and these connections and associations with people like Jesse and other independent toy makers, people who had already done all the hard work. And I could just come in and reskin their stuff and put my name on it and be like, hey, look what I did.
Logo slap.
I made this. I made this.
That's right. With their permission and consent, do it without them knowing about it.
Important.
But you know what? It's my entry into seeing if this is something I want to do. This is something we want to pursue as far as making action figures and doing that stuff. People have been asking me for years. What would your line of figures look like? What would you want to do? And I always said I don't have any ideas. It's not something I want to do. I collect action figures. I try to support people who are out there doing the work, making the things, and try to whatever platform I have, I want to sort of shine the light on the things that they're doing and show off the cool stuff they're doing, because you guys, Jesse, not you, Mike, Jesse, you're the one out there putting out your money and your time and your long sleepless nights thinking about how an elbow works. And
you don't know how I sleep, Dan.
It's true. You could be doing all those same things too.
I can do all those things.
How does an elbow work?
My wife's like, go to bed. I'm like, I can't.
Look at this thing. Yeah. So I had reached out to Jesse and then Rocom Toys to see if we could get some figures rolling. And with Rocom, that ended up being SG-01, which was the Mighty Maniacs figure. I'm going to make myself big here for this. Excuse me, guys. So SG-01, the SG stands for Secret Gear. So this is the Secret Gear 01 with the Secret Galaxy logo, Tampo on the shoulder there. Otherwise, this is all pre-existing parts from Rocom Toys Mighty Maniacs line of action figures. They did a Kickstarter a few years back. They actually just finished up another Kickstarter for another batch of parts and pieces going forward to keep that line fresh. All of these figures are working on the Glyos system. If you're not familiar with the Glyos system, it's basically just a system of pegs and peg holes that are universal across all of the lines that are using it. So the more Glyos figures you have, the more parts you have, the more customizability you have across all of those lines to just make whatever you want, and to really customize your own action figures. So SG-01 is here. SG-02 is on the way. I don't know if we have a better idea of when those might actually be in, but hoping.
Yeah, absolutely in time for TPE. I just got a manifest, which is usually a few days before a pickup, which is a few days before FedEx. So we're right on schedule. Unless something egregious happens, I think we're okay.
Excellent. So Alpha Magnus SG-01 is getting a restock. A lot of the times, and I was worried about this. I didn't want to break the rules of the community, right? And so this is a very tight-knit group of people who are all helping each other out, and they're all trying to grow the community of people that are making these things and support each other in the production of parts, and just everybody having a good time making this stuff. And so I didn't want to come in and be like, oh, hey, my figures are all only $2, and just undercut all the pricing. And I didn't want to break any of those sort of unspoken rules about what you can do. But at the same time, I was like, I might need to rerun some of this stuff. You know, a lot of times the business is sort of built on the collectability of things. Hasbro does it, Playmates does it, all of the big companies do that. And I wasn't sure where I wanted to sort of fall in that structure of things. So for SG-01, I wanted to make sure that people who wanted to get it could still get it. And it'll be the same figure. That restock will be happening later this summer. The packaging will be a little different. There's also going to be an accessory pack available, but SG-01 is getting a restock. The second figure, SG-02, is going to be, you know what? Let's go through a little visual history first before we actually jump right into the figure. Over here we have. So I created this character. Jesse, how far back with Knights of the Slice? Are all of the Knights of the Slice characters based on your like childhood comics creations? How much of that would you say is from?
I would say the vast majority. And in the cases where there's something that I didn't create when I was a kid, I can go back and find something that looks eerily similar to it. You know, whether that's like a subconscious thing or I'm just like, you know, retconning it into existence. I'm not sure. But, you know, these all are creatures of my mind. And it is largely populated with the same characters that I came up with when I was 6-7 years old. And, you know, just scrawling in a pad. And obviously you have a rich history of doing that as well.
Well, so I was watching you, I've been watching you for several years now and the figures you put out and, you know, you've shared your current artwork, you've shared your new interpretations of old characters, but you've also shared artwork that you produced when you were a kid, you know, when you were originally coming up with these characters and stuff. And you know, it's actually pretty common across different, you know, toy manufacturers and companies to tell stories through the different waves of action figures and the production of figures. And I know that you have some like mini comic type stuff and some prose type storytelling out there and music videos and everything else that goes along with that. And you've just been advancing your mythology over the years. And I don't have any, I haven't read any of it. I haven't paid attention to any of it. I just know you're doing it. So.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't recommend wasting your life trying to go down the rabbit hole of the fragmented narrative of Knights of the Slice. It would take years. So
yeah, but I have admired you doing that, and I've been jealous of it. You know, just being able to have that sort of storytelling outlet. It's funny to be like, oh, you know, I could make a comic book, but that takes, you know, it's so much time and effort to actually make a comic book. I'm going to make toys instead. So I'll put out one toy every like 18 months or whatever. Yeah. Well, that's a better way to do it.
You know, toy making, you get to really like exploit so many other people's labor. That's the beauty part. You know, comic book, it's just yourself.
Yeah.
Like
now you can really feel like a white guy.
Yeah.
For me, the one of the oldest characters I have, and if you've been a long time Seer Galaxy viewer, you may have seen our Darkhawk, our Marvel Legends Darkhawk review back in like 2016, 17, somewhere around there, where I talk about my creation, my version of Darkhawk, who predates Marvel's Darkhawk. I had the name Darkhawk.
This art is from January of this year, correct?
No, this is like January of '87. So I think you'll be able to tell the difference when we advance through the ages as how the artwork gets better. I hope. But as you can see here, this was in preparation of the first issue. It just never came out. Still, we're working on it. Get off my back. I got a lot of things going on. Yeah. This is Darkhawk, which at the time there was capital D space capital H, which is actually the spelling that we've gone back to. So I had it right from the first time. I should have trusted 13-year-old me. Powers were flying, master of ninja weapons, teleportation, and agility. It was just, I went for the power buffet. You know, he's got a little Uzi here. He's got a sai. And I think he's lounging here like one of the French ladies or something.
The Uzi is my favorite ninja weapon, by the way. It's solid ninja weapon.
He can throw it with great precision.
Right.
cut your
I
jugular.
thought he was doing ballet. I thought he was doing some sort of like he's very
he's on point.
He's on point.
This guy is agile.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
Right.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
I see it.
Yeah. Well, hey, look. At least he has feet, right?
It's true. Could use more pouches though.
Point Dan.
he is clicking his heels.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. There's no place like home.
I will point out here too, though, that one, he has bicep bands, which is not something that sticks around, and two, he has red eyes here, which also is something that does not stick around. This wasn't necessarily the next illustration I did of this character. This was a little bit further along. This is probably early high school, so maybe 9th, 10th grade, somewhere around there. We have Darkhawk, a solo story. This is from DML Comics, #1.
Disney is going to sue you. You know that.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm's coming after you.
D does not stand for Disney. Special appearances by Snowstorm, Force, and others. Art by Dan Larson, if you didn't know. This was when my artwork was in a weird stage where I was like trying to figure out anatomy, but I didn't quite have it yet. So his legs are just like a series of tubes.
Like the internet.
That's right.
I dated a girl like that in high school.
Yeah. Well,
Tube girl?
Yeah.
Tube girl.
Did she dance like this?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. She broke my heart.
Yeah. He's totally got Storm Shadow's backpack here, without a doubt. All that stuff tucked into it. And I think this is Eugene Levy underneath the mask here.
He's Canadian. He's Canadian.
He's got, I was definitely in a, look, I looked at a lot of Rob Liefeld. I was looking at a lot of Todd McFarlane. I was a lot of Art Adams and Jim Lee and all those guys. And costume wrinkles were it. They were in. It was all about costume wrinkles. And this is me trying to resolve costume wrinkles with, I don't know, underneath the mask shadows, all those sort of things.
He does. He has a John Waters mustache.
He's got something going on there. Sure. So that's that one. Also, this is this is gonna hurt. Just this sigh tucked into the belt like that. That is, you're gonna hurt yourself.
That's
real
not
bad.
how that works. Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Plus the ninja stars there. At least I think they're ninja stars.
Yeah, they are. And I assume his Uzi is in his ninja backpack there.
Oh, for sure. Where it goes, as every ninja has.
Exactly. And there's a story, this demon, there's a whole thing going on here. I don't know if this is sun up or sundown. I'm not sure, but find out when issue 1 finally hits the stands.
You clearly you tapped out. You just didn't want to draw the demon. You're like, I've been working on this for 30 minutes. I'm good.
I designed one character already. How many characters am I supposed to design? Jesus. Yeah, hey, look, props to me for at least trying to do the perspective on this sword. I don't know.
I think that's pretty good.
The sword's great
advanced than what I was doing at that time. I think it's, it's not far from being correct.
It's a very ceremonial scimitar looking sword, but I dig it.
Yeah. I'm working on it. It's a cursed demon blade, so I don't know even if it is shape shifting as well. So who knows? This was another team. 2 of these characters are mine. 2 of these belong to my friend Joe, so I don't have the rights to them. So just Darkhawk here in the front and Snowstorm in the back, the blue and white character. Dragonfly and Flare don't belong to me, so I have to license them before I can do anything with them. But what I wanted to point out here was that one, we've got yellow eyes on Darkhawk now. He still has his sai, but he's also rocking red trunks here, which that's another piece that sort of comes and goes depending on.
And he stuffed a tube sock in his jockeys.
Well, if you're gonna pose like this, like you want to stand out, you want to make sure
you need a little bit of protection from that sai. I mean,
he learned his mistakes the hard way. Yeah, exactly. And then so this is page 1 of, you get a sneak peek here before it hits the stands. This is page 1 of issue 1 of Team Espionage.
Oh, no spoilers. Hold on.
It's not. No, I gotta get through the whole issue.
All right.
We got it. I think I vote pure energy for SG-03.
We'll see. There's some parts there that I don't think you have. He's got a lightning bolt mohawk that I don't think you have an existing part for.
We'll fudge it.
We'll see what your library. Do. Yeah. And so I want to point out that he's the good kind of stalker. He's not the bad kind of stalker. He swears he's the good kind. Yeah.
Like the one from the Police song. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is his hand. This is his thumb that he's holding.
No.
I thought it was like a finger gun thing. I thought he was doing
he's doing this.
He's
doing this. Look, this is exactly, it's same exact shape. See? Look.
Is Blue Chew a sponsor? I think you could work that in nicely here. Not that I don't take it. I don't know what that is.
Who can draw? Can you even draw that angle of a hand today? It's very hard, especially when he's holding things, so to speak.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So there's marksman. He can hit a target from any range. That's why he's a marksman. We got Fists of Fury, who spins his arms around at super high speeds. Together,
that's my favorite person.
Yeah, I think these pages are actually out of order, and I went back and forth on whether or not Pure Energy here has a mouth on his mask, and I'm not sure yet. I'm still working that out. A lot of question marks across the board. And then, oh man, Pure Energy. His name is Mark Schock. This is non-canon. This has been rewritten. He's not Tim Hawk anymore. That's not his secret identity.
He's now Mike Hawk, right?
Yeah. No. Snowstorm obviously is Mike Hawk. Dominator had nothing to do with the Shredder. Absolutely not inspired by the Shredder at all. And then they're going out. This is I should have censored this. All this blood and guts and gore before
realistic.
We're gonna get demonetized on this. Chuck Donnelly is marksman. You can tell he's wearing camo pants, and I think he's got the sunglasses
and
from
no
that
shirt.
Pizza Hut from that Pizza Hut promotion. He's got the cool arrow-shaped sunglasses there. Yeah. Billy Spin is Fists of Fury. These names are very on the nose. And then this is not my art. This art was produced by what is the guy's name? It's in the I can't remember his name. Elron something. It's the file name is in there. No, it's not that one.
Look, can I do a public service announcement here?
Elroy Birch. I want to make sure I say that. Go ahead.
Bad trigger discipline. What's going on?
True.
Have all these illustrators not fired a gun?
There might be a bad guy right above him. You don't know.
He's ready. He's locked and loaded.
He's a danger.
Yeah. And he's got a kunai there, which is just wrong. I'll have to send this art back and get it corrected. He's supposed to be holding a sai, not a kunai. Idiot.
Sounds like poor management.
Yeah, that's on me. That's on management for sure. So that's Darkhawk. Actually, there were a couple more illustrations. Let's hit those here. What are we doing? I just forgot how to work all my buttons here. There we go. There we go. This obviously is an earlier illustration where I was working on my autograph. Please don't screen cap that and write any checks with it. But here you can see no armbands, yellow eyes, belt, no trunks, but everything else is pretty much, everything else is pretty much standard. And this is the same sword that was in the other illustration. It's the Darkhawk blade, for those that don't know, which is everybody. And then this was my Art Adams, Rob Liefeld inspired era. Cut the feet off, make those legs long and luxurious. It's the longest legs you can possibly put on a character. Cut them off at the ankles and give them tiny little baby arms. I think if you hold it this way and look at it from the bottom, everything is perfectly proportioned.
It looks like he's walking with his feet forward. Right? He's like this.
I can't unsee the maple leaf though. It just.
Ooh.
I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking
Canadian.
about. I don't see it. I don't see a maple leaf. It's a big arrow. I mean, as the story goes, as I tell it, because this is what actually happened to me. I had a dream, and this character's symbol came to me in a dream, emblazoned on an electric guitar, and so I knew that was the inspiration for the character. Was that he was this sort of, rock and roll, all action all the time ninja character that just could not be contained. Was
it a flying V though? I mean, that's the important part.
Yeah, obviously, for sure. I think technically it was white in the dream, but sometimes you dream in black and white.
That doesn't
you have
make
to reinterpret it in color when you wake up.
Okay.
I've never been able to resolve. Havoc, Marvel's Havoc on the X-Men. when he's got the big loops hat thing going on, it's clear that those loop and connect in the back, but when they changed the mask and it's just snug to his head, it's like you have to figure out how those connect in the back, and I've never been able to solve that problem. I don't know what the back of his head looks like, so I appreciate that we didn't have to deal with that on the action figure. This is during my Renaissance era.
This is This is Mikhail Baryshnikov.
Yes, right.
Sexy.
Yes,
It's very sexy.
Well, this is going back to the original illustration, and there's some dance. There's some fluidity to his ninja movements. You know, he brings that additional element to it. He's still got his sai. In fact, it's longer than it's ever been, both in the handle and the points. And no trunks, no belt. The only problem with this one, he's not wearing his mask. Two, he doesn't have his thigh bands, which are part of that character. And then this is the most, I hate to say this, but this is the most recent drawing I've done of him, and this is like 5 years old or something.
Hold on, still no trunks though? How recent?
No trunks.
And there's we did a card slicer card of this, right?
We did. Yep. As we were working on this project for, I think you did you give those to me at Legions Con? Oh no, we had them for Toy Pizza Con last year.
I think so, yeah.
You gave them to me at Toy Pizza Con last year. Handed some out to people, signed a few of them, did some trades. That was cool. And so that's the official card art for that. And so belt, yellow eyes, no armbands. We got the thigh bands, no trunks. And so so that's that. I knew I wanted to get this character out there. I knew I wanted Darkhawk to be in this action figure line somewhere. And so that's where we went with this figure. So SG-02 is officially Darkhawk. I should have clicked this as I said that. So this is the figure that we've done. And the way this works is Jesse basically said to me, go through the parts library. How many parts do you currently have, Jesse?
I mean, there's I think 20 figures, so thousands of individual parts, I would guess.
That many, really? That many?
It's a lot.
Yeah, like hands and legs and torsos and just all kinds of.
There's 20 figures plus all the accessory sets and stuff I've done. I mean, it's it adds up.
Yeah, and so this is your base Night of the Slice, which, as far as I know, one of your earliest figures. Was it your first figure?
That's correct. And also, as it's being pointed out, Gordon did sculpt that scarf piece. So look at that. He's
this Gordon right here.
This very Gordon. This very Gordon.
That's great. That's
nice
awesome.
Scarf.
Yeah, nice scarf. That's one thing that I definitely am disappointed in myself with. For SG-01, I don't know who did any of the sculpting on this. Like if I had been through the whole process, I would have contracted the artists, the sculptors, all that stuff. Obviously I know who handled the factory parts. I know that, Matt oversees a lot of the production. I met Paul, and I'm sure Jesse, you probably knew about this figure before it was even announced. And then, so I working with Jesse, we figured out which parts were going to work best for this. And then he mentioned that they had some parts that were in the pipeline that would actually work pretty good for this as well. So as far as I know, the scarf is pretty new. I don't know. I think you've had it out on one thing already. I'm not sure. And then the head as well is a newer piece. Most importantly, we've got the yellow eyes in here.
Mm-hmm. And the head was sculpted by Kenneth West, who's both Kenneth and Gordon, two squires of the slice that started off just customizing and things like that. And through their activity in the community have become really phenomenal 3D sculptors and are making their own toys and accessories. So, they're two local boys that did good.
So Alpha Magnus here, a couple comments about accessories and that sort of thing. Closed hand, how's he supposed to hold two weapons efficiently? He does have one open hand. He can hold a sword or a gun. Unfortunately, right now there's not two.
But guess what, guys? This is the Glyos system.
This is Glyos. So
you can right. add and subtract any parts you want. There are millions of Glyos parts out there. If you want two hands, very easy to do.
Can I mix SG-01 with SG-02 parts?
You
absolutely
can.
Not. Absolutely not.
You
absolutely.
can. Okay. You absolutely can.
Like legally, can I?
Legally,
they're both under my brand. Yes.
Right.
And
my
actually,
lawyers are saying no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the feed. Yeah. And actually, one of the good things about Glyos, one of the many good things about Glyos, is that sometimes you'll run into a situation where you have you're trying to connect pin to pin. And sometimes you're trying to connect pinhole to pinhole, and those don't go together, but there are adapters, so you can switch those around if you need to make the appropriate parts fit. And I will the artwork that's going to be produced for this, that's actually being produced right now, for this figure to promote this box art, that sort of thing. This scarf is actually covering up. The scarf serves a functional purpose. It's not just for fashion. It's fashion first, but it also serves a function in that because this is the original Knight of the Slice body. There's sort of a hole here from where the pizza neck collar piece used to fit, so the scarf sort of covers that up. But I will also say that this head, which obviously is removable, fits on all kinds of other scale of 4-inch action figures. So if this, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 POA. If 10 POA isn't your speed, that head can pop off onto other figures as well, and you can make your customizations that way. Either way, I am super excited about this. Like I said, this is the second figure in the line. I have another picture over here. I just slightly.
Now, Dan, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned in some of our conversations that you sort of envision this as a slightly like futuristic take on the character, hence the kind of, torn shawl. And I thought that was fascinating. Like, I don't know if you're sticking with that canonically.
It is. Yeah. In terms of storytelling, I haven't figured out, and it's getting real late for SG-01 at this point. Like, I gotta make some decisions, and I'm having a real hard time with that. As far as how the lore is going to be put out into the public, how that information is going to get out there, because I already have a story. I know how these two characters interact. The thing that's holding me up is that I haven't made decisions on what SG-03, 4, and 5 are. I had envisioned this as a 4 or 5 figure in a year and a half, kind of a launch line to let me play around with some stuff, to get a little more information about how even something like this works. I keep holding this up, and I should actually just do this because I do actually have a figure in hand here. It's not actually out yet. Pre-orders have not happened yet. As we did with SG-01, members of our Patreon will get first access to these, and then after that, pre-orders will go out to the general public. And then depending on the timing, they may actually be available at Toy Pizza Expo. I almost said Toy Pizza Expo before they are up for the public. We'll see how that pans out. But patrons are going to get first whack at those for sure.
Would you call this a Darkhawk 2099 kind of situation?
It is intended to be. I don't know how to get out of this layout now. There we go. So like Jesse was saying, I like the idea of being able to storytell through action figures. And while there's no previously existing Darkhawk figure, we're picking up the story here. I've been living with this character for almost my entire life. And so he's already sort of lived a life in my mind and in my own illustrations and my experience and stuff. So I do like the idea of picking this character up at this point and thinking about what he's been through and what he's experienced and why does he have this scarf and, why is he still wearing the same costume? And, did he get older? Is there some magic? Is what's happening on the other side? What is the interaction with SG-01? How did he meet this robot guy, who's like a space robot thing that has made out of energy, I want to be able to tell those stories. So I have to just figure out what that format is. It's not going to be a full comic book, but I'd love to have some sort of series of illustrations or narrative or something somewhere. TBD, coming soon.
I think as a sort of narrative device, like an older superhero kind of reflecting on his adventures since you were a kid, like that's a really interesting framing device. It also lets you skip around and get to just the good parts of storytelling.
And we know from, if comic books have taught us anything, characters like Bishop, it's that in the future everybody wears big scarves. It's just,
no question.
You got to figure out. It's just the why. It's the why is everybody wearing the big scarf. So that's a piece of the puzzle that I'm still working out.
Because it gets cold and it stops them from getting cold.
The future is a cold place.
It's a cold place.
I like to think of these as sort of midriffs that went too far. That's how I explain it.
It started as the Gambit crop top, and it just kept getting cropped.
Yeah.
It's just a neck ring and shoulders now.
It's eventually going to loop back around to the bottom and just kind of
yeah.
That works. So yeah. I'm excited about this. I honestly do not know what the SG-03 is yet. I'm still working that out. I saw a suggestion there in the comments that Stickman could be potential. He's definitely on the short list, but that's one that I'll have to look around to see if there are parts that would actually work for that particular figure. So stay tuned. And there's definitely I'm not trying to plug the Patreon, but we post all this stuff on our Patreon as far as like different comics and illustrations and stuff that I've done in the past. Go ahead, Jesse.
If I may, I think like we're at a incredibly crucial time for independent creators in that we're kind of all getting squeezed really badly on every platform. So I would actually say people need to be responsible and follow creators' Patreons. Like it is incredibly crucial, incredibly vital. I know a lot of people who are no longer doing anything creative because they simply can't afford to. They don't have the space and they don't have the time. They've taken on real jobs. So if we like this sort of stuff, we like people putting out podcasts and music videos and making toys and making comics, like take it upon yourself to throw a couple bucks to, I'm not talking about that. That's bad content. That everybody unfollow Dan's.
Don't you talk smack about Corky.
2 points. But no, like,
it is a bit of a crisis moment, I think, and people can really we need more independent creators and storytellers out there. So it's incumbent upon all of us to follow and back people on these platforms and put money in their pocket.
It's true. And, the whole point of us, we're now doing one video a month that's exclusive to YouTube memberships or our Patreon at the $1 tier. It's exclusive to all the tiers on the Patreon. And the whole point of that was to try to get out of the algorithm-based system of, content production, because, as a young creator on YouTube and whatever, you're doing everything you can to try to get into the algorithm, to try to get that thing to pick you up and serve your stuff and whatever. And the more you do, the more you sort of compromise what you are actually trying to do at the core of your own art and your own voice. To try to get into that, and then you start to compromise it even more to stay in there, to stay in that flow. And so Greg and I especially have been trying to move away from that and to pull that audience over to Patreon if possible, to try to take ourselves or YouTube memberships to try to take away that requirement to do whatever those stupid robots want. So good point.
Yeah, it's true. The algorithm will be the death of all of us. So
for sure.
Start sending money directly to the artists that you guys like.
Well, and look, I could do another hour on just talking about AI art and that kind of thing, and how I will never knowingly pay a single penny towards anybody that I know that is using any kind of AI art. Let's not confuse tools like, Photoshop, where it'll be like deblur, add blur, those kinds of things. I understand the point of those. I'm talking about like in illustration. I want to see what the human is producing with their own materials and experience and that sort of thing. But I would rather let's get back into promoting Toy Pizza Expo before we close out the show here.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Just go. Just do it. Come to the show.
Just do it. It's follow Jesse on Instagram at Toy Pizza.
Yeah, please do.
I do.
And patreon.com/Jesse Destasio. It's a good one too. Even better, some say.
Do you use the Facebook, Jesse?
I have several AstroTurf accounts that I use for harassing politicians.
Smart.
Okay. Yeah. You need something to do on your day off, right?
I do. Yeah.
So I will be there Sunday, June 16th. I'll be set up. I will if all holds, I'll hopefully have some action figures on hand to sell. And then I will definitely be selling off just stuff that I'm cycling out of my own personal collection, getting rid of those sorts of things. I'll have prints, pins, t-shirts, Secret Galaxy merch, that kind of stuff. And then
you heard it here, everyone. You can own a piece of Dan Larson's collection.
That's right. Something.
Where else can you get that?
Not for nothing, but Dan kind of blows stuff out at crazy prices. Like,
right?
Don't say that.
Well,
he will wheel and deal.
Sometimes.
If you tell him that, you'll get 50% off of any purchase. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I blow stuff out. Depends on how late in the show it is and how badly I just want to go home and get rid of everything. If you catch me in a moment of crisis, yeah, you're going to get a real good deal.
Yeah. So don't buy anything from Dan until the final hour. Okay?
last 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'm going to be sweating. This is the worst show I've ever set up at. Don't invite me again next year. I ain't coming back. Jesse, thank you very much for hanging out tonight. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
I'm very excited to figure in this collaboration. I'm so happy with how this came out. I will say this. I think the reds are redder on this figure in hand than it is on those pictures that I just posted on screen. That looked a little pinkish to me.
This is a good teaching moment for future toy designs. It is incredibly difficult, or it's harder to put a lighter color on a darker base plastic. So something to keep in mind as you plot your future.
Oh, you're talking about the tampos? That's
so
that's an industry term.
One way that this could have been done was shoot it in red, apply the black where it's needed. Probably would have cost a little more in terms of spray masks and things like that. But, that's just one of those weird phenomenons about tampo prints and manufacturers, spray masks, things like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, good note for the future. Awesome. Cool. Well, everybody, if you're in the area, if you think you can make it, June 16th, Sunday, I'll be there. Sounds like some people in chat will be there. That'll be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's probably going to be hot and sweaty, and we'll all eat pizza and talk about action figures and stuff together. And that's going to be really cool. I'll be posting about it on my Instagram and probably Twitter too. So if you're not following me, follow me over there. And thank you all, and have a great night. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Abregado.
Bye.